USF at Navy. Both teams are 7-2 and both are still in the running for the American Conference title. Now, this is going to be an interesting clash because these are two teams that play very different styles of football. USF is a 10-point favorite, and that tells you that if they're able to play their style, it's going to go in their favor heavily. Now, even if they don't get to play their style, their pace, they can still potentially win. Navy is just a little bit more methodical, a little bit more efficient with their possessions. This is going to be a tough test for both sides for different reasons. For USF, playing against this triple option is going to require a defense to be disciplined, require a defense to play fundamentally sound football and do their assignments. Play assignment football, get to the football, rally to the ball, make plays. This is going to be tough. Navy is going to make plays. Now, big question is whether or not Blake Horvath is going to be able to go. If he's able to go, this Navy team is a much different team. If not, this line could get way more in favor of USF. But this triple option attack is always going to be tough to defend. It purely is. You just have so much misdirection that you have to worry about. And if Blake Horvath is playing, you have a veteran player who understands this offense, the ins and outs, and how to make this offense play even better. That's going to be another difficult test. The rushing attack, obviously, is what you have to worry about with Navy. And they have multiple different body types that you have to defend. Blake Horvath is obviously the leader of this group. Alex Texas, the fullback that you have to worry about in terms of physicality. And then you have some different dynamic threats. Brandon Chapman and Eli Heidenreich have been really good as runners, but also they have developed as really impressive pass catchers as well. Heidenreich leads the team with 595 yards receiving. So he is someone you have to worry about just as much as Blake Horvath. That's going to be an interesting test for this USF defense. A USF defense that has also shown that it can shut teams down. The problem is that this is not your traditional offense. Navy is not going to give you your traditional looks. They're not going to give you anything that you've probably seen before. You have similar concepts, but the way that they dress it up, that they dial it up, is so different than anything that you've ever seen. Plain and simple. They just don't play things the same way as your traditional spread offense, and that's going to put a lot of stress on this USF team. A USF team that has a lot to lose, frankly. This is a team that still wants to make the college football playoff. They want to win the American title. And while Navy has those same goals, I think a lot of people put more pressure on USF than Navy. And Navy is a 10-point underdog. So they don't really have a ton to lose at this point, other than that you could say they have a ton with the American Conference title, but I don't think that they have as much to lose, nearly as much to lose as USF. Now for USF, you've had two games that have not been impressive, that have not gone your way. The Memphis loss, I think, is really stinging for this fan base because that was a game that USF felt like they should have won. They should have come away with a win. And to come up short in that one, I think really hurts this team, especially for the goals that they had. They had goals of winning the American Conference. They had goals of making to the college football playoff, and those goals are still alive. But now they're even more difficult because you just lost to a Memphis team on the road that is still also in that conversation. And you also might play them in the conference title game. So USF is looking for ways to keep their goals alive and win impressive performances, win impressive games, win impressive matchups. That's a game that if you are looking for the opportunity for a USF to potentially do that, this is one. Because you have to play disciplined. You have to show that you are so focused on the goal ahead. You have to show your focus in this one because it's late in the season. If you're not focused with all of this on the table, you don't deserve to be in the playoff anyways. So that's going to be a big thing. How focused can this team be? How dialed in can they appear? And how disciplined can they play? Now for the offensive side of the ball, once again, Byron Brown's going to do his thing, and I think that he can do a lot of damage to this Navy defense. I don't think Navy has the athletes. I know they don't have the athletes that USF does. But again, that focus, that discipline. How do you make the right read instead of just chucking it up, right? Not that Byron Brown does that a ton, but how do you dial in? Because this is a team that can put up 50 points. They've scored 50 plus points in multiple games this year. This is an offense that can just destroy anybody they're playing. That is going to be a huge key for them. Are they able to dial in? Are they able to focus on what they need to do? Make the right read, make the right play. For the playmakers, the rushing attack has to continue to try and give Byron Brown some help. Nakai Davenport has been fairly good as of recently. He's averaging 7.1 yards per carry. The pass catchers have been good even when Chaz Nimrod's been out. Keyshawn Singleton, still a stud. Jeremiah Coger has taken his new opportunity and literally run with it. He's been so good for this team, and he has a bright future in college football. This offense has the ability to take this one and make it so that Navy doesn't have a chance. If this defense can get stops, create turnovers, that's what helps USF the most. That's what gets them in position to be able to run away with this one, because I think USF is the better team. I trust that they're going to be able to do a lot of good things in this one. But again, you have to play with that discipline. You have to be focused. Alex Golesh's staff has got a lot of work to do in terms of getting them ready for this one. But I do trust that they're going to be able to do that. And they're going to remind their team, this is what we're going for. This is what's still on the table. And if they play as disciplined as they're capable of, this one will go in USF's favor without question. I am picking the Bulls to win this one. I just don't think that, especially if they don't have Horvath, that Navy has the ability to keep this one close. USF is just so tough to defend defensively. And even if Navy is efficient, the Bulls have shown that, hey, we can still score in a hurry. And that puts so much pressure on the other team. So I'm going with USF to keep their American title hopes alive and to keep their playoff hopes alive as well.